All right, good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Listen, I want you guys to tag a couple people in the room really quickly. I have a couple things I want to talk about. If you guys can see, the topic today is moving with intention. Every step has purpose. Every step has purpose, and I think it's so important for us to understand that everything that we do, it has to have a purpose. One of the things about execution, being an execution coach, and different things like that, I've come to know is that for every step that we make, right, it has to be some type of building block or a building stone to what's next, where you're trying to go. And so I find that a lot of people struggle with the step by step. We have great ideas. But one thing I woke up with this morning is that ideas have to be filtered. Right. And so when people come to me and they say, hey, listen, this is what I want to do, there are a series of questions that I'm asking them to make sure that it makes sense. Right. And this is the thing, everything that I teach is not very specific to business. I'm gonna be honest, because the foundations of whatever it is that you're trying to build is just the foundations of what you're trying to build. So any information that I'm ever giving can be applied to just your everyday life, right? Your everyday life. What I'm saying is not just, hey, listen, you want to get a business, but as it pertains to your life, you have to ask yourself these questions. And so when I talk about moving with intention, making sure that we're not just doing things to do it. I was thinking the other day and I was like, I'm watching, people create different things online and it's great and it's wonderful. Some things are like copycats of what you've seen other people do, right? And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, we have to learn how to like stay in our lane, because when you start to step out of your lane, can I tell y'all something? Sometimes you can step out of your lane and step out of a place of grace, right? If you're not grace for something, if you're not grace for a certain area and you try to operate in that area, it's not going to go as well for you as it may go for someone else, because listen, you might not be grace for that, right? And that's okay. I want us to learn how to stay and operate under our measure of grace, stay and operate in our lane. When you stay in your lane, it's something about how everything that you need provision wise, let me tell you, even the mental capacity that you need to maintain that lane will be present. But when we start to operate outside of our capacity, outside of our lane, listen, there's a level of mental capacity that you need for certain things. And if you do not have it, it will wear you out and it will burn you out. It will wear you out. And that's why some of us are wore out, some of us are tired, some of us are exhausted, because we are operating in spaces that we were never intended to do. And this even goes back to, I was talking about, we talk about a couple months ago, we were talking about like buying houses and, different things like that. Um, and sometimes the people um don't realize that you are stressed out at home and you are stressed out in your marriages because you're operating outside of your measure. What do I mean by that? Like, you're getting things and you're trying to obtain things that you don't necessarily need, but things that you want, right? So that's why I said ideas have to be filtered through questions, through a series of questions. You have to be able to ask yourself, hey, listen, do we need this right now? Right? Is this something that we can save up to get to? Right? Is this a life or death, a decision that we have to make right now? Because sometimes we make impulsive decisions. We feel like we need something right now in this moment, right now in this present moment. And then what happens is once we get it, we don't count up the cost of what does it take to maintain the thing that you want. I told y'all this, a couple months ago, that even as I'm, navigating this new space, y'all, of being a senior pastor, right, it requires another level of presence, which means things that I used to be able to do, right, I may not be able to do. I used to be able to go and preach at other churches on Sundays, go visit other ministries on Sundays, do things on different weekends, because I was not having to be back home with my home church every single week, right? And so I have to move with intention. I can't go and say yes to every single thing, right? So it's not just about, can I handle this money wise? Because for some people, everybody, I've learned that we make money to be the main issue for a lot of people. But if we're honest, money is not the issue for everybody. I'm gonna tell you, money is not the problem for everybody. The problem for many people, I'm gonna help y'all this morning, is the mental capacity. When you want to go after something, when you say, hey, listen, I got this idea, you may have the money to fulfill the idea, but the question you have to ask yourself is, do you have the mental capacity? Do you have the emotional capacity? Do you have the physical capacity to be able to walk out the thing that you are trying to pursue and go after? I don't care how much money you got in the bank. There are a lot of people that got money and they're building things that they don't have the mental capacity to maintain. The problem is, listen, is not, can I afford to have a relationship money wise, but man, listen, do I have the mental capacity to be able to maintain this relationship? So that's why I'm saying, moving with intention. We have to be very, very intentional about the moves that we make. Hey, Cecilia Andrea, you have to be very intentional. Like, in order for us to execute with precision and execute with the sustainability of a thing, right? Because it's not just about, let me get this for the moment, but can I maintain this thing, right? It's never good morning, Trail. It's never the question about, can I afford this house right now? The question is, can I maintain this house? The question is not, can I get the car right now? It's, can I maintain the car? Because oftentimes we make decisions in moments, right? And not realizing the longevity of the thing that you are pursuing. So sometimes, listen, you may have the right thing at the wrong moment. Listen, I told you guys the other week, right? That sometimes we have the right bait, but we're in the wrong place. Sometimes you're in the wrong place, but you got the right bait. Today, I want to talk about when you have the right idea, but it's not that time yet, right? You got it. Listen, I get it. You got this idea in your mind that is going to be amazing, but timing is everything. And I know, me as a creative, I know there's some other creatives on the line that, listen, let me tell you something. When we get at that idea, we can make it happen just like that. Listen, just like that. Whatever you tell me you want to do, whatever it is, I can create a business plan just like that. I can run numbers. I can create all the different things right in that moment. But being able to create a business plan versus being able to walk out with excellence and with execution a business plan are two totally different things, right? So just because you have an idea doesn't necessarily mean that right now is the time for you to do the idea. I know you want a house right now, but sometimes you got to stop and ask yourself, is right now the right time? I know you see all the ads, and that's what gets us, right? We see all the ads popping up, and the ads are telling us, it's better to get a house than it is for you to what they say, it's better for you to get a house than it is for you to rent, and all those different kind of things. And let me tell you something, for somebody else, it may be the right time for them. For somebody else, it may be what they need. But you have to stop and ask yourself, is it the right time for me though? Because that's what matters the most. Not what everybody else got going on. That's what I was saying when God woke me up. He said, listen, you got the ideas, but you have to be able to filter the ideas. Preparing under the surface prepares you for what is in your time. I love it. To show the fruit in God's timing. When he says you're ready, wait on it. And that is exactly why I don't even know if I made this post yet. How like I get stuff in the late night hour, and sometimes I'll be like, did I release it, not release it? But anyway, I don't think I released it. Anyway, this is what the Lord told me a couple of days ago, and I haven't, but I'm gonna release it right now. A couple of days ago, we was away on vacation, and the Lord told me, he said, exposure is coming. Good morning, Pastor Ruth. He said, exposure is coming. He said, but not the type of exposure that you're thinking. He said, exposure is coming. He said that people are getting ready to find you, right? And it wasn't just for me, it was for other people. But it goes back to the comment that Christy Cheney just posted. She said, preparing under the surface. And the Lord said that exposure is coming and that we have to be prepared for the exposure. I'm going to help you. You have to be prepared for the exposure. Sometimes I know we write out these things. We might have written it out years ago, and you're like, God, when is it coming? No, he's saying that you have to prepare. This is why he clearly says, write the vision, make it plain. Come on, write it on the tables, that he that readeth what they can run with it. And what I always like to see is that people cannot run with what they cannot read, right? So this is the hour. This is the moment. You have to prepare. People are going to banks and asking for loans, and going after grants, but you are not prepared, not mentally, financially. Your books are not in order. Come on. Your books are not in order. Your plan is not concrete. Like when people ask me to write their business plan, I'll be like, I can't do it. I can help you, but I can't write it out for you because I need to know what is it that you see for where you're going. Business plans are so important because it tells you, what are you doing in year 1? What are you doing in year 3? What are you doing in year 5? What are you doing in year 10? Right? It's the sustain. Banks want to see the sustainability of what you are building. Can I tell y'all something? It's not just for business. This is for your life, right? What are you doing in year 1? What are you doing in year 3? What are we doing in year 5? What are we doing? Like I write out, what am I see myself in year 1? Now I'm gonna be honest, these last couple of years been a little crazy because I'm like, Lord, I feel like I've been wrote out what I wanted, and they didn't win every which way than what I written down, right? Okay, so I get that sometimes. Those of us that flow with God, and we believe in God and all those kind of things, and we're like, God, where am I? Because this is not what I signed up for. I get y'all. I feel y'all. I'm right there with you. I didn't see this for my life, so for some of the things I wrote down about where I see my life going, some of those things are a little shaky right now because I'm like, God, I didn't see this for my life. However, I continue to write out the things that I desire. Can I tell y'all, when I wrote down what I envisioned my shop to look like when I was like 19 years old, right? I did not see it until I was close to, I think I was like 28, 29 years old. Right. But when I tell you that everything that I wrote down in my book was everything that the Lord gave me, everything. I wanted a diverse salon. I wanted to be in a diverse area. I wanted to be I wanted it to look like this. This is the type of atmosphere I wanted. This is the culture that I wanted. Everything that I asked God for, that I wrote down. Come on. I'm walking in it today. What I'm saying is that we have to prepare. It may not be right now, but it may be for where you're going. I'm going to help somebody else out. One of the hardest things, so during COVID, they were offering money during COVID, right? And for different businesses, you had to have certain things in order. When it came down to it, because mind you, I have a salon and I got other people that work in there with me. The people that I work in my complex, they weren't giving us, like a pass on our bills, right? We still had to pay, right? I'm the owner, right? This is the responsibilities of ownership. The owner, it fell on me. I couldn't ask my people to give me something that they did not have because they wasn't working. So the responsibility then fell on me. And I was like, God, what am I supposed to be doing here? But let me tell y'all something. My books were in order. I didn't need to hire no accountant to go and get the money that I needed to sustain my business. Why? Because I was prepared. And one of the hardest parts was I began to help other business owners do the same thing. Well, this is the thing. When it was time to help them, their books were not in order. Their stuff wasn't right. Some people thought that they were operating in businesses and they weren't. And so this is the thing, like, and in the beginning, it's fine for you to like do things on your own. I'm cool with it. But after a while, you need to go seek professional. This isn't everything, right? You trying to go look for houses and all that, but some of y'all need to go seek professional help. They need to tell you, right? This is moving with intention. They need to tell you what you need to work on. They need to tell you what areas need help. I know you want this house, but these are the things you need to do to get to the next level. Period. This is how we move with intention. There are some things, I'm going to be honest, you're going to have to pay for. It's some knowledge you're going to have to pay something for. I don't care even if you have to barter your services. There are certain things to get to that next level that you're going to have to pay for to make sure that your stuff is right. And so I'm working with these people during COVID, and I want to be able to help them. These people make when I say tens of thousands of dollars a month, and the back end of their business was not good. Haven't filed taxes in 3 to 4 years. So here's the thing. For some of you, it's not the fact that the resources are not out there. The fact of the matter is you are not prepared. I'm talking to my church folk. I love y'all. Listen, pastors, leaders, you have to make sure, hear me, that the back end of your church is together. It's money out there. It's people that will help you. But they are not going to help us if our stuff is not in order. And not even just about getting help from people on the outside, but let me help you guys. Ministries, if you get your back end together, there are people in the church that can help you. There are people in the church that have the ability to help you. But let me tell you something. People are not going to help unorganized ministries. Y'all got doctors and lawyers and all types of people sitting in your congregation, and they love you, but they don't love the fact, and I don't know why I'm here, but they don't love the fact that you're not organized. They don't love the fact that everything is all over the place all the time. It makes it hard for people to get a hold of. This is why it says that he that readeth, follow me, can run with it. What am I saying? People will run with the vision that they understand. I feel the Holy Ghost. People will run with the vision that they can see. People will run with the vision that they understand. But people cannot run with what they do not know. This goes down. I'm telling y'all, everything that I teach, tag some people in the room. Even what I'm teaching right now is even for your households. Let me tell you why. When your family knows where you are going, they don't mind getting on board. When your family don't know what's happening, they're not getting on board. Even in your homes, your vision needs to be clear and concise. Everybody needs to know what's happening. Even down to our babies. I don't care how small they are. You put that thing on the vision board. That's it today. You put that thing on the vision board and you make sure that everybody is on the same page. Give them a job to do. I tell y'all all the time about my children. My family is not perfect by far, and I'm not saying this because we're all perfect, but I have these conversations with my children that I don't have to fight them about the things that I have to do for my family. I don't fight them about my assignment. My kids are not bitter with me about me being a pastor. You know why? Because we have conversations. I told you guys that conversations kill offense. Moving with intention. Moving with intention means making sure we're having the conversations. People will trust you. People will follow you when you communicate. People do not follow when we do not communicate. They don't. If you are not communicating what is happening, people are not going to follow you. I'm just here to tell you, they're not coming. If you're trying to figure out what's happening in your household, why does it seem like my house is all over the place? Because, listen, they don't understand what's happening. Gone are the days where what I say goes, okay? Now I ain't gonna say gone are the days, but you are gonna have to make sure that you have the conversations. I wouldn't say gone are the days, because there are some things that I'm like, just go do what I told you to do. Okay, period. But that's after I've already communicated with them what I said. Right? But when you communicate with people, listen, husbands and wives, have the conversation, move with intention. The reason why y'all all over the place because you're not talking, you're not communicating. What is the vision? Where are we going? What's happening? Where are we presently? Some of us, we are scared to look at our bank accounts, scared to look at our numbers, scared to look at certain things. But here's the thing. If you don't stop to see where you are, you will never be able to create a plan for where you're going. Before I got on this live, I was literally plugging in my thing. And the Lord literally said, he said, tell them some of them need to pause, right? Some of y'all that have been pursuing certain things, going after certain things, trying to build certain business, trying to build certain things. The Lord said for some of you, you need to take a pause. You need to take a step back. You need to wait a minute and get very clear on where you're going. Because a lot of times what happens is you get an idea and there is no clarity around the idea and you just start moving. Right? There's no clarity. You have to get clear. Ideas have to be filtered through questions. Why am I doing this? Who is this going to help? Right? Why am I doing this? Who is it going to help? Do I have to do this right now? Is this something that can wait? That's it. Planning has to turn into a movement. Absolutely. And learning and us learning how to stay in our lanes. I don't know how many times I can say, stay in your lane. And what God has called you to do, and whoever you serve, because y'all know I'm faith-based. So, sometimes people serve whoever you choose to serve, right? Stay in alignment. Because with moving with intention and planning, some of you have picked up when I do my pray, plan, execute. One of my favorite exercises to do during that time is we blindfold somebody. And in the midst of me blindfolding them, I give them somebody else's blueprint. And they're walking around all over the place, right? Because trying to move in somebody else's blueprint will make you crazy. Trying to walk out somebody else's assignment will make you crazy. Doing things that you are not called to do will make you crazy. Doing things outside of your measure of grace will make you crazy. That's why people are struggling right now in what they're trying to pursue. Why? Because you picked up somebody else's blueprint. Everybody's ministry is not the same, and don't feel the need to do what another ministry is doing because you think like, oh, that's just what's going to get people. That's what's going to grab people. If that's not your grace. It's just not. I'm not trying to do nothing that nobody else is doing. I see what y'all doing and I love it for you. It may not be for the well, though. It may not be for the people that we're called to. It may not be for the people that we're trying to help. So you have to know how to operate in your measure. Stay in your lane. If these are the type of conferences that God is giving you, just keep doing those. If these are the type of programs that God is giving you, just keep doing those. See, the thing is that we try to go places and we try to dominate and do everything. I told the people the other day, I said, when I'm coming back to Maryland. I've lived in Aberdeen. I haven't lived in Aberdeen since I was like 18, like 19, 20 years old, right? Okay. I haven't lived there in a very long time. So because I have not lived there, I'm not coming back with the assumption that I know everything, right? So I have to lean on the people that live there because they know what's happening in the city. And my first thing was not coming to build a bunch of programs. We dumbed down and we have the least amount of programs. I said, our objective right now is to see what is the need. I want to know who's already doing certain things and let us support what is already being done. And our job is to create the things that God has called us to create that are missing. See, our problem is we don't know how. This is what I say moving with intention, right? This is not just a personal thing, right? It goes beyond personal. It goes beyond just your family. Now let's talk about the local churches. Let's talk about local businesses. Let's talk about worldwide businesses, right? Because the problem that we have is being able to collaborate. You linking up, you doing your own thing, and you only got 5 people that's coming. I seen something that was so beautiful here in Georgia. It was 3, I want to say it was like 3 different churches or maybe 2 churches that came together and did Vacation Bible School. When I tell you amazing, why we don't do that? Why we don't do that? Now for us, it was a little tough because y'all, we had 70 kids by ourselves. So it was a lot of people, right, to try to manage. So I can imagine, we tried to link up with a couple of other churches. It might have been a lot more kids. And I don't know, again, let's go back to our capacity. But some of y'all doing things and you only got 5 people showing up, 10 people showing up. It's other people that's doing it. How about we collaborate and bring this thing together? You bring your staff, I bring my staff. There's a young girls group that's already created. I ain't trying to recreate it. I might create something else that may be for a different type of something, but for the main part of what they're creating, hey, let's go and do what they're doing. Let's go link up with them. How can we help? Maybe we send one of our people once a month to help you guys out. But the goal is not even always, this is why you have to filter ideas. Don't just run out there and buy a logo. This is what we do. Buy domains. I'm putting it out there. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm starting. We got so many mentorships. Why we don't come together and do these mentorships? Why we don't come together? Let's see what is already happening and how do we support? How do we make it happen? I'm not saying that eventually we may not be able to, you can't do something on your own. I'm not saying you can't do something on your own, but make sure that you are filtering your ideas. How can we serve? That's it today. This is how we move with intention, not just as individuals, not just as families, but as a community. And that's one thing that is missing. Our ministry has gone beyond the walls. Bishop says this all the time. We just have to be one body and not just in our churches. Absolutely. Every step has to have purpose. Why are we doing this? I'm going to tell you, the reason why some conferences don't go well is number one is there's no real preparation. I'm gonna be honest. We don't prepare, we don't market, we don't do all those things. And that's why a lot of times they don't go over well. Number two is that we don't have a clear understanding of the purpose. If your purpose is literally a lot of times just to get money, I'm gonna be honest. People can feel that and they're not coming. People want to feel the love behind, people want to feel the intention behind it. Why are you building what you're building? If the goal is not souls, if the goal is not impact, if the goal is not for people to be changed by what you are creating, and the goal is just money, people can feel that. They feel when you only want to communicate with them when it's time for you to buy, and you don't talk to them any other time. You don't offer anything else any other time, any other moment. Move with intention. Pause. That's where some of us are right now. You need to take a pause. Ask yourself some real questions. What am I doing? Where am I going? Why am I doing this? Who is it going to help? And I'm not saying filter these because of the fact that you're not able to do what you're trying to do, or that because it's not a good idea. I'm saying filter it so that you have a clear understanding about what you're doing. People don't like business plans, but business plans help you get very clear on who you serve and why you serve them. I asked somebody the other week about their audience. I'm like, well, who do you serve? And they weren't really clear. And here's the thing, and we have websites and we have domains and we have things that are created, but you don't know who you're talking to. That's one of the first things you got to know. Well, who did you create this for? Why does your initiative matter? Who needs this? What do they look like? What age are they? Right? Because when you know who they are, you know how to talk to them. The way that I talk to a 10-year-old is not the same way that I talk to an 18-year-old. Two totally different audiences, two totally different conversations. What I talk to a 25-year-old about is going to be very different than what I talk to a 45-year-old about. Two different places in life. So this is why it's important to get very clear on who do you serve? Why do you serve them? Why are you doing what you're doing? Move with intention. Move with intention. Y'all, let's just stop haphazardly doing stuff. We want to execute everything that we desire. I know you want the house. I know you want the car. I know you want all of those things, which is great because I want them for you. But just don't go out there and get them without having a clear plan. without having a clear plan on how did we get here? How will we get here? Some of us, this is why pause and processing is important. Because if you keep ending up in this continuous cycle of debt, if you keep ending up in this continuous cycle of starting and stopping and starting and stopping, you got to ask yourself, how do I keep getting here? And the way you do it is by pausing and reflecting. That's why we say, those of you that are healing journeys, don't go from relationship to relationship. Don't go from business to business. Don't go from idea to idea. Stop and pause. Ask yourself, why didn't the last idea go off well? Right? Why didn't the last idea go well? Why didn't the last business take off? Why didn't the last relationship work? When you pause and reflect, now I can move with intention. Now my next step is going to be the best step because I've taken the time to really see what has done well and what hasn't done well. So that's all I had today. Ideas have to be filtered in life, in business, in ministry, in relationships. You have to filter ideas and ask them the questions. What am I doing this for? Why am I doing it? Who does this serve? Is this the right time? Is there a better time that I should do this? Because I want to make sure that whatever I do, I can sustain it. I want to make sure that whatever I do, it goes off amazing. And this is why I said that poor planning is not spiritual warfare. I say that because oftentimes we connect the spiritual warfare of things with the failure of certain things. But the reality is that you just didn't plan well. You didn't have a clear plan. Maybe your audience doesn't want that. Maybe your audience doesn't need that. You seen somebody else do it and now you want to do it. And it didn't go over well with your audience. And so you're like, oh, it just didn't work, or it wasn't, or I didn't plan it the way I needed to. And it didn't go well. And so now it's like, oh, the devil just didn't want me to have it. The devil got up in it. No, the devil wasn't a part of that one. It was you. Because ideas have to be filtered. That was the word I got. Listen, when I tell y'all that's the word I woke up with this morning, was ideas have to be filtered. It's funny because one thing that one of my really good friends, Apostle Lamar, he always tells me this. He says that feelings, now y'all give him credit because I didn't get it. Okay. I wasn't me. He says that feelings have to be filtered with facts, right? And that's the same thing that I'm getting as it pertains to ideas. Ideas have to be filtered with facts. Okay. Follow me. Ideas have to be filtered with facts. I know you like it. I know you like that idea, but we have to go with the facts. And what do the facts say? And do the facts say that this is something I should do right now? Do the facts say that this is something that I need to pursue? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to stop and ask ourselves some questions. Y'all, we can't just keep getting stuff and running with it. Same thing with our feelings. What does he say? Feelings have to be filtered with facts. I know you feel this way about something, right? But what do the facts say? That's how we move with intention. That's how we see results in our life, right? And we're not seeing results because we don't move. That's it. Thank you, Alondra. That's it, Brianka. We don't move. Listen, I want y'all to drop in the chat. I'm going to move with intention. We don't move with intention enough. We wake up and whatever the day says. We go to bed with whatever the day says. As the day goes out, it's whatever the day says. Like I'm working on something right now. And I was like, I need all the numbers. I need to know, what am I making on a day-to-day basis? What does that look like? What type of what is my client paying on the day-to-day basis? I need to know. That's it. I'm going to move with intention. I said, I have to know all of my detailed numbers before I make this move. I have to be very, very precise about what does this next look like. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying we don't leave room for God. I'm saying you give God something to work with. Okay. So you got to know your numbers, not because God can't exceed them and I'm going to limit God on my numbers. I'm saying I got to know my numbers because I have to be realistic about where I am right now. So I know what is that number. I told you guys this last week. I said, when I am talking to someone and they're telling me their idea, the first question I'm going to ask them what is, how much, Tasani, does it cost? Right? How much does it cost? Because if you cannot give me a number of what it's going to cost, and then what happened was how God does this, and he flips it, right? Because the same thing I'm giving to y'all, God will give you somebody else that's the same way. So I'm like, okay, I need to do this. And they was like, well, how much is it? I'm like, well, I don't know. I got to get the number. So how much does it cost? Now, not just money, mentally, physically, emotionally, we got to count those costs up too. But for my particular thing I'm operating right now, I'm like, I gotta know my numbers. How many days a week do I need to work? And on those days, how much money do I need to make on those days that I work to be able to live? That's how I got to be able to work 3 days a week because I knew my numbers. I knew how much I needed to make per week, per month, per day to be able to work 3 days a week and still be comfortable and still be okay. So you can't just go out there and just say, I got this idea about something. Someone was telling me not so long ago, they was like, I think that you should like, maybe go and like get another building. I say, y'all, I haven't even maxed out the building I'm in right now. Until the building I am has been maxed out, I'm not going to get me another building. What am I going to get another building for? Another stressor, another build out. So move with intention. I'm going to challenge everybody that's watching today, those of you that may catch this live later, is to sit down and filter your ideas, all of them, not just business ideas, ministry ideas, but family ideas. Where is your family going? Where do you see yourselves? Filter those ideas with facts. Some of us got to sit down and we got to pause. Ask yourself, is this for me? Is this something I should be pursuing? Is this something I should be going after? Did I find this? It's fine that we see ideas on social media. What's not okay is that you feel like every idea that you see, you have to operate and you have to do. Everything is not for you. For ministries, every house is going to be different, down to the songs that you sing. To the people, like there are some pastors that I love that I'm not bringing to the well. Just because I love them don't mean that they're for this house. So you have to know who you are, who you're called to. Because everything is not for everybody. And the thing about it is that even some things that are good for us also can make us sick. I didn't, I remember talking to one of my friends and she was talking about she got an allergy test done. And she was like, girl, I'm allergic to strawberries. I'm allergic to pineapples. I'm allergic to melon. And I'm like, girl, these are all the things that are good for us. But your body don't like it. Ooh, this is good to me. And I think that's one thing we have to realize is that just because it's good for somebody else, it may be rejected by your body. It may be rejected by what you're called to do. It may not be for you. It may make you sick. Why? Because your body can't handle it. That thing about having an allergy is your body doesn't have the ability to break it down. It rejects it. And that's what happens in our lives, is that like there are some things that you keep trying to force to be in your life and your body is rejecting it because your body can't handle it. It doesn't have the capacity to break it down. So it makes you sick. That's why we got a lot of sick pastors, we got a lot of sick leaders, we got a lot of sick people, because you are trying to consume something that was never meant for you to consume. It wasn't for you. Your body can't handle it. That's why I never measure. I can't judge. Whatever God's calling you to do, whatever God is calling you to do, whatever God has graced you to do, hey, listen, that's for you. I'm not going to take it on for myself. Yes, rejected by your calling and assignment. Absolutely. So we have to know what is for us. And that's why for some of us, we have to pause and we have to really, really, really ask ourselves, is this something I should be doing? Is it something I should not be doing? Because I want to execute with precision. I want to make sure that when this thing goes, I told them the other day at a meeting, I said that yes, I am the execution coach, right? You know, I am the executor. I love to execute, is what I do, right? There are some areas that are not my areas, but execution is my area, right? You tell me what you're trying to do, I'm going to give you down to the everything that you need to do to make sure that it happens, right? And so I was telling them, I said that we've had some great events at the Well, and I thank God that we don't really have no hiccups. We never ran out of food. We never, had too many seating issues. Like, ain't a whole bunch of drama on the day of, ain't a whole lot of running around and all. You know why? Because we plan. We move with intention. There is a plan behind what we're doing. We're not just doing things just to do it. The goal is always going to be impact, but the goal, and here's the other part, is we follow the leading of the Lord. Simple. We can't go wrong. I'm going to just end with that. You can't go wrong. I'm going to play it all day long. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make sure that I'll always leave room for the Father and whatever he wants us to do and however he wants us to do it. So move with attention, y'all. Every step has purpose. Although it may be the same assignment, it is unique to absolutely. Although we may have the same assignment, it is unique to your calling. And that's what we've been talking about in leadership. I'm going to send this video to our leadership team today. This is what we've been talking about. Just knowing the difference. That yes, we are all called. This is why I say the vision of what you want to do, it don't change. That's why I'm like, I can go with God and what God is doing in this season of my life, because it flows. The overall vision of what God is calling me to do, y'all, is wellness in every area. My salon is about wellness. My hair loss clinic is about wellness. My coaching has always been about wellness. Ministry, all about wellness. That my overall thought and vision that God has given me, this is for me, may not be for you, is that if our mind is not right, if our homes are not right, if you are not well, nothing that you build will be well. But sometimes God will change what that looks like. And I'm watching how God, and I'm going to get off of here. I'm watching how God will shift your life, right? My vision has never changed. God gave me this a long time ago, but I'm watching how God has shifted. And I've gone from, it was more so my salon, it was more so my clinic, then it shifted into my coaching, and now it's shifted into ministry. And it's not like everybody else. There are not a lot of pastors that are, and it's okay, because that's not the people they're called to, right? But there are not a lot of pastors that their overall topic is wellness. It's not a lot of pastors that their overall thing is, hey, listen, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything that we curate in this ministry has to have a mental, financial, and physical wellness component to it. Period. Has to. But that's what we're called to do. But I'm watching how God, everything that the overall vision of what God is calling you to do, it doesn't change. But how God chooses to work it through you will. So today I'm doing hair, but tomorrow I might not be. It doesn't change the vision, though. The vision is still that he wants his people to be well in every area of your life, not just one area of your life. Every area of your life, I want you to be well. I want your business to be well, but your business is not well because you're not well. And why are you not well? You're not well because of these things that keep on interrupting. Come on. These are the things that keep on interrupting your wellness. And so my thing is I want to dive deep into those things. So let's talk about how this keeps showing up. I love your phases. Everyone leads to wellness, every single one. But I want to talk about how you keep ending up in this place. I want to get to the root. I don't want to keep dealing with symptoms. I don't want to keep dealing with surface level. I want to get to how do we keep getting here so that we can execute better. I want us to execute our lives better. But in order for some of us to execute, this is why my coaching is not pretty, right? This is why people say when they go through my coaching, they cry. You know why? Because I got to get to how you keep getting here. Why aren't you seeing results? Because the problem is this. It's not the fact that any of you on the line today, I want y'all to hear me so clear before I go. It's not the fact that you lack ideas. That's not the fact. It's not the fact that you lack vision. Many of you are amazing visionaries. I have worked with some of the greatest visionaries, greatest creatives. The problem is never none of those things. The problem is there is a reason why you keep getting stuck. And if I don't get to the root of that, you'll never produce. You'll never see results. So my coaching is not pretty because I realize that some people are procrastinators, not because they want to be procrastinators, but there's a root to your procrastination. That root might be fear. That root might be rejection. That root might be abandonment. That root might be failure. And I got to tap into that so that I can help you to be better. I got to help you to build systems. Because here's the thing, what the Lord has really shown me is that disabilities don't mean you don't produce. Come here, Paul. He said, I got a thorn in my side. He said, can you take it away? He said, absolutely not. I will give you the grace. His thorn never prevented him from being the person that God needed him to be. The thorn never prevented him from being one of God's mouthpieces. Let me talk to y'all today. Your disability, your thorn will not keep you. Will not keep you from what God is calling you to do. Yes, you might have been rejected. Yes, you might have been molested. Yes, you might have been raped. Yes, they might have betrayed you. Yes, they might have left you. I know all of those things, but those things don't disqualify you. Those things don't mean that you cannot be used. So this is why my coaching is so different, because I want to deal with those things. I want to deal with the thorn. And what I'm going to do is I help you to build systems around your thorn that help you to still produce. See, what happens is when a person has a disability, what they do is they show them how to navigate life. I feel the Holy Ghost on this through their disabilities. There are some of you on the line today that you have disabilities, and what you have done is you have disqualified yourself because you have a disability. I can't be used. Nobody wants to use me. I can't do this. Some of you still even have a physical disability, not just a mental disability, but I can't be used. Yes, you can. You just have to get up and move with intention. He said, I got a thorn. He said, okay, I'm going to give you the grace. My grace is enough. Somebody dropped that in the chat before I go. His grace is enough. Good morning. His grace is enough. So for those of you that are on the line today that have been dealing with rejection, dealing with abandonment, dealing with fear, failed in some areas, dealing with betrayal, come on. Dealing with all of those different kind of things, It don't mean that you cannot produce. It does not mean that you cannot execute. But what I will tell you is that you have to create some things, some systems, some accountability around you that help you to navigate through that. So listen, I do that in the business world, but guess what? That's what I do in the church world. When you come in, I know you're dealing with things, but just because you're dealing with loss, just because you're dealing with grief, just because you're dealing with trauma, it does not mean that God can't use you. But what we need to do is figure out a way. How do we work through those things so you can keep showing up? I've heard people say, oh, listen, if you got to go to therapy, and until you've done X, Y, and Z, until they feel like you're healed enough. Let me be honest with you. You are never going to be that healed enough to do anything. You got to know that his grace is enough. You have to know that even though these things, I've gone through these things, hear me, these things don't have me. I've been hurt, but hurt don't have me. I've been betrayed, but betrayed don't have me. I've been rejected. Come on, but rejection doesn't have to have me. And what happens is I gotta go. But what happens is these things that we go through become our labels. These things that we go through have become so much a part of your life that you don't know anything. What I want to say is this thing has become your identity. Many of you today, you cannot execute because all of your failures have become your identity. So this is why my coaching is different, because I'm going to break through them barriers. I come for all of them. Every single last one of them. This is why I passed it the way I passed her. Why? Because I'm coming for all of them. You will not be hindered by your hurt. You will not be hindered by your pain. I've had to navigate through tough times and still had to show up and not be able to bleed on the people that I'm leading. Let me help you. That's just the point. Listen, you can push through as long as you don't bleed. Because I've seen people that have gone through things and they bleed on people. But I've also seen people go through things. I tell y'all this testimony all the time. I'm a hairstylist. And I remember sitting in my chair and I was going through a divorce and nobody knew I was going through a divorce. And it was a girl that was sitting in my chair and she says, I think my husband is cheating on me. Like she was running certain things down. Here's the thing. The Holy Ghost. This is why I tell you that you can have a thorn in your side and not be disabled, that God will still use you. Because as she was sitting in my chair, the Holy Ghost began to speak to me concerning her life. The Lord began to show me some things about her that was not pretty. And I began to talk to her. And I said, listen, I said, you can't leave him because, baby, you're doing the same thing. She was like, oh my God, how do you know this? And we began to have some dialogue. And I said, like, you can't, I was beginning to tell her, share with her about her marriage. And I had to encourage her that you got to stay in this. I could have been bitter. I could have bled on her. And because I was going through my divorce and what I was facing in that moment, I could have allowed that for me to ruin her. There are people, we've seen people ruin other people, but there's others of us. And this is my assignment. It ain't everybody's assignment. It was my assignment. My assignment here on earth is to help people, not to bleed on other people. It's my assignment to help you to move with intention and not in your feelings. Get out your feelings. It ain't about what you feel. Come on, y'all. It's about what you know. What I know is that all things work together for the good. What I know is that God is in control of all things. And when I sit with what I know and not in what I feel, I move with intention. I'm standing here today because I allowed my intention to move and not my feelings, because my feelings said, no. My feelings said, no, I don't want to do this, God. My feelings said, God, I know what happened to me the last time. So God, I'm going to say no to this. But because I know who God is, hear me, because I got to move with intention. I got to filter all of my ideas with facts. I had to understand that this is not what it was the last time. That spiritual discernment and maturity. Bless you, yes, for not bleeding on her. Absolutely. So I came to encourage you guys today that what you are going through right now doesn't disqualify you. I don't know how we got here, but we here. What you are going through does not disqualify you. What you've been through does not disqualify you. The thorn in your side doesn't disqualify you. But what you do with the thorn is what will disqualify you. All right. So I love y'all so much. I gotta go. I am so grateful that y'all joined me today. Y'all stick around. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more consistent. I think this is a good day for me. Wednesdays in the morning. But I just want to help y'all move. I need us to move. It is, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna be honest. It is so much money out here in the world, like literally. And we sleeping on it. There's so much opportunity out here for us, but we sleeping on it. You know why? Because we don't know how to move with intention. We move in our emotions, we move in our feelings. And I tell y'all this all the time. I have built so many things in survival mode. And I told God this, and I don't know if this is for you, Tanya, but I told God, I said, God, I'm not building nothing in survival. The next things that I build in my life, Lord, is going to be with intention. Period. I want to move with intention. I don't want to be in survival mode. But I'm going to be intentional about the next steps that I make. Every step that I make has purpose. Pastor, I'm about to be late. This is so good. I have to drop. Listen, go ahead. I got to go too. I'm about to be late for where I need to go. But I love y'all so much. I'm grateful for y'all hopping on. Y'all meet me here next Wednesday. Y'all, I'm going to put a little flyer out maybe. But I love these moments. These are called go moments. It's whatever the Lord says. Listen, I don't have no planned out live or what I'm gonna say. It's literally whatever I wake up in the morning and I hear the Lord say, hey, listen, I'm gonna say it. And when I woke up this morning, he said, tell my people I need them to filter their ideas. And so that's what I gave to y'all today. So listen, filter those ideas, ask yourself questions. Is this from me? Is this the right moment? Is this something I should be doing? Because at the end of the day, we want to execute with precision. And not just that, y'all, we want to build something that's going to sustain and not just for a moment. All right, I love y'all so much.